Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining me for another video. And if this is your first video, my name is Raelan. Welcome to my channel. So I talked recently in a video about my experience growing up as a child with a parent with chronic fatigue syndrome, and what I felt from a child's perspective were things that were helpful or could make that experience easier for a child growing up with this. I'll link it in the video description if you want to check it out. And today I'm going to talk about being a parent with a chronic health condition like chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, fibromyalgia, POTS, Long Covid. I know that there are a lot of you parents out there who are facing these sorts of conditions, and I've had people ask me for more videos and more support for parents who are going through this. So although I can't speak from a parent's perspective, I've used a little bit of my reach and my connection with our community to get the advice of a couple psychologists and a whole bunch of parents who either have lived with these sorts of conditions while being a parent or are still currently in it. And I've pulled from all of this a ton of information and strategies and insights and ideas for support for people who are parents and facing these conditions. So in this video, I'm going to talk about stuff for parents that falls into 6 general categories. The first is reducing the negative impact that parenting has on your own health as the person who is facing the health condition, because I think our primary goal needs to be getting ourselves healthy so we can be healthy and happy and be a better parent. Also going to talk about some lower energy activity ideas for things that you can do with your children, followed by some mindset tips, and then some communication strategies to use with your family. Also some ways to maximize support in your life. And finally, how you can use this experience of being unwell and add in some silver linings and some teachable moments and some things that you can do to help mold your children into better people as a result of having gone through this with their family. And then I'll finish the video off with a couple of helpful additional resources that might be helpful for parents. Okay, so this is supposed to be one of my shorter videos that I kept promising that will come later in the week, but just as with my first one on this topic, it's a big topic, so I'm gonna do my best to keep this under 10 minutes, but something tells me I might not pull it off. I am going to bring out shorter videos, many of them, I promise, even if this isn't one of them. Okay, so let's get into this. There is a lot of great stuff here, so you might want to grab a pen or some way to take some notes so you don't take all this in and then forget it. Be like, wasn't there something in there that I wanted to try or something I thought was helpful? And of course, what is applicable to you or helpful to you is going to depend on your situation and your level of health. So take what fits for you and leave the rest. And a massive thank you to everyone who helped me to put all of this together. I'm sure some of you watching will recognize your own contributions in the video, so a big thank you from me to you. And if you are watching and you haven't yet subscribed, as always, I'm going to invite you to subscribe. I love this growing community of ours here. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Lots of great stuff coming up. Don't want you to miss it, and it makes me very happy when you subscribe. I still get excited by every new subscriber, so please join us. All right, category number 1, reducing the negative impact that parenting has on your health. Here are a few strategies to help you manage this. One is to make a list of things that your children do that put you personally into that fight or flight mode. Things that invoke that stress response in your body and keep you from being in the state that you need to be in to heal and recover. And then look at those list of things, whatever it might be, and see what you can do to reduce those things in your family. There might be certain times of day which are especially problematic, maybe certain activities, whatever it might be. Take a look at what those are and see what you can put in place to minimize those, or the impacts of those situations on your own health and your own stress levels. Also, if you have Alexa or any of these smart home devices, and you can get them really quite cheaply now on Amazon, one parent suggested to use them as a way to drop in on your children. You can talk to them while they're in their rooms from where you are using Alexa or whatever device it might be. That sounds like a big energy saver. My mom bought a doorbell, and I forgot to mention this in my last video, but she put the doorbell, like the loud end of it, in my room, and then she kept the doorbell button. So whenever she needed me, she just pressed the doorbell. This just feels like a much more modern version of that. One parent said that there's just flat out in her family, there's no arguing with mom rule. Because arguing with mom there's just no energy. There's just no ability to do that. So however you as a parent make this happen, probably easier said than done. But if you can make this a rule in your home, that's really going to help. Also, quite a few parents said that having strong boundaries around things, around activities, behavior, conversations, whatever that might be, around what you expose them to, can really help things and help your children to feel safe and to feel secure. Also, having a schedule and a planned routine for the week. One mother said that her and her husband every weekend make a plan for the following week ahead, and then having that plan in place for how things are going to go really is helpful. Another one, if you can financially manage it, is to get a tutor to help your children with your schoolwork. I can imagine that the homework duties are significant, so anything that can lessen the burden of that sounds like it would help a lot. Another one is rest when your child rests, and I think we hear a lot of this for when they're babies, like sleep when they sleep, but don't just stop when they're babies. Keep that going. When they are down, when they are quiet, when they're having a nap, then you take that time and power down instead of trying to catch up on things, but use that time to rest for yourself as well. And you can force some rest time in. Things like screen time. I think parents have a lot of guilt around how much screen time their kids have. Screen time's okay. If you need the rest, do what you gotta do, guilt-free, so that you can get that downtime. You can also use the time when they're at school to rest, and you can also, if you can manage it, shape your sleep schedule around theirs. So go to bed when they go to bed. Okay, and the last one in this category is relaxing your standards on things and looking at your energy allocation. So your standards for your house, for your appearance, I think we can just lower them a bit. You don't have to look good. The house doesn't have to be clean. It doesn't matter. Take that energy, prioritize what usable energy you have, and instead of using it for vacuuming, spend it with some time with your kids doing something that is meaningful for both of you. All right. Moving into some lower energy activities, ideas for what you can do with your kids. One suggestion is to find things to do with your kids that you also enjoy, because then it's less draining for you. If you spend all of your time with them playing some game that you really don't like, or just doing something that you do not find enjoyable, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be draining. So if you like watching movies, if you like going out to a coffee shop, if you're able to do that, do those things that you enjoy and find a way to make it fun for them as well. Many parents also share that there are a lot of activities that they do with their kids from the couch, that they're getting really creative on things that can be done from the couch or from bed. Things like just talking or watching TV or watching a movie, playing a video game, playing any kind of game, listening to music, reading a book. Just getting creative on what you can do from the couch or from bed. And in my experience, it doesn't even have to be all that creative. I loved watching movies and watching TV with my mom as a kid, with her on the couch, me laying on the floor. I have so many great memories of that. And I didn't care that that's mostly what we did. I was just happy to hang out with her. You can also get them to bring their toys or their coloring, whatever they have, bring it near you. If they're building something with Lego or drawing a picture, encourage them just to keep showing you what they've done and giving you updates and telling you about it. You can lay there and rest, and they can play with their games and still sort of interactively do it with you. And the last suggestion in this topic is to make your home as fun as it can possibly be. If you can't go out that much, what can you bring into your home, or what sorts of games or things can you, routines, whatever it might be, can you build into your home so that your home is a really fun place for your kids to be? Okay, moving on to mindset tips. Virtually every parent and psychologist I talked to talked about finding ways to get over the guilt. I just really feel for you parents and all the guilt that you pile on yourself and that other people try and pile on you, even healthy parents. It just seems like the guilt is never ending. And what parents are saying is it's not helpful. It's not serving anything. There's no need to feel bad. This isn't your fault. It's just the way things are. And also that it sucks, but to try and remember that this is teaching them empathy and responsibility. One parent said that it's led to very independent kids, and I'm sure other moms think I'm a crappy parent, but I have to let all that go and just show up for them when I can. One thing that one parent shared that I really love is one sentence that helps them with their mindset and their guilt that they just repeat to themselves. And that's that each child in the world grows up with limitations, whether it's financial, health, parents who work a lot, they live in a country that is struggling or lacking healthcare. There's always something. No child has the perfect family or the perfect home. And with mindset, just overall focusing on what you as a family can do, what you still can do instead of what you can't, can open up a lot of doors and really just shift the energy in your home. And a last one in this category is that setting boundaries with other people is really important too. It really can give you the ability to do the things with your kids that you want to do. One parent said, "It's hard for me because I've always been a people pleaser, wanting to be involved in all the activities and will do anything to avoid conflict, but I'm learning that I need to really focus on priorities and family first, meaning saving my energy and good days for them, and learning to sometimes say no to doing the extras, out with friends, sporting events, traveling, hosting, volunteering, and all of that." So that's been the hardest for me because I loved doing all of the things. All right, communication strategies for your kids. So finding ways to communicate about your illness in ways that your kids can understand is very important. So give them examples that they can relate to. Pull times from their life when they've been sick or injured and they haven't been able to do things that they've wanted to do, or they've had to do things in a different or modified way. Just make it personal for them and on a level that they can understand. And also do what you can to make them feel safe. Let them know that yes, you're sick, but you're not on your deathbed. You're there for them. You're not going anywhere, and you're working on getting better. And also just being honest with your kids about what your limits are, that letting them know that you're not like all other parents and that you can't necessarily do all of the same things that other parents can do can help to reduce the frustration around that. And I think it's a conversation you need to have multiple times, just keeping up that open dialogue with your family about how things are can be really helpful. And the last one in this category that someone shared, which I appreciate very much as someone who was a child with a parent who was unwell, and so that I know that honest communication with kids is very important. They definitely sense when things are wrong, but this parent said they also think that they shouldn't be burdened or worried with the health of our parents. And I know as a child, I felt the stress and the depression and the anger and the frustration in my home a lot. I'm sure my parents did a ton to shelter me from it. I don't remember those times, and I know it's a big ask, but I think, at least from a child's perspective, whatever you can do to keep them out of all of that is also important. Okay, ways to maximize support. I think this might be the biggest one. Essentially, the overall theme of all the suggestions that the parents and psychologists that I talked to shared was that getting the most help as you can is important because it allows you to maximize the quality time that you have with your kids. So you can use what usable energy you have on those things that you want to do with them. And of course, on the things that you need to do to get yourself better. Many parents shared that they found ways to pay for help, for cleaning, for grocery delivery, for laundry services, and that they had to make sure that they didn't have any guilt around this and get creative with the finances to make this happen. And it really just took a massive load off of them and off of their family. Also for parents who have split custody of their kids and only have their children a portion of the time, some parents had some suggestions around that, such as, really rest when the kids are with the other parent so that you have as much energy as possible for when they're with you. And that you can divide up the activities and sort of the vibe of the kid's life based on which parent they're with. other parent that they're with can be energetic parent, can take them to do all sorts of athletic stuff and maybe play sports with them. And then you can be the parent that does more calm stuff with them, maybe reads stories, sits in colors with them, or whatever it is that you can manage. And if you have family or friends who can come and watch the kids a couple times a week, that is really helpful as well. Many people are saying. Biggest thing around this one that I kept hearing was just don't be afraid or ashamed to ask. That lots of people actually would be very happy to help. Lots of people probably really don't understand what your family's going through. And if they did, they'd like to be there for you. And if they found out later that you're going through all of this and never even asked them, they might actually be hurt. And some people reported that when they asked people in their lives to help, those people were thanking them for the opportunity to come over and cook for them or to help out and be there. The message I got from a lot of people was that they found in the end that people really did want to help. We think we're going to be a burden, but people are happy to help, but they're not mind readers. So you have to tell them what you need. Right, how you can use this experience to mold your children for the better. So many parents said things like they used this as an opportunity to build independence in their children. So giving them more chores, giving them more responsibility at home, of course, within reason. No one is saying send your 7-year-old out to get groceries or, have them scrub the house from top to bottom, within reason. But kids benefit from these sorts of responsibilities, and it builds in them, parents are saying, independence. Their kids have more of a strength and a confidence and independence as they get older as a result of having this experience as a child. It's a good teaching opportunity with children that all people are different. People have all sorts of things going on in their lives, different things with their health, with everything. So it's a good time to show them that not all moms are the same, not all dads are the same, not all kids are the same. And also a way to talk to them about how life has hard times sometimes, and everybody has to go through some hard times, and this is normal and it's okay. And lastly, on this topic, people shared that this is a good opportunity to teach children empathy and about giving other people the benefit of the doubt, because we never know what other people are going through or what they're facing. So if we feel like others are letting us down in some way, we don't know what's happening with them. And this is a good opportunity to show them that and teach them that. So there you go. There are some suggestions and insights from parents from all over the world about how to make this experience of being a parent facing a health condition a little bit easier and a little bit more manageable. And if you're still looking for some further resources, a couple things that might help is there is a website called thehealthsessions.com. And if you just put in the search bar parenting, there are quite a few articles in there on topics like how to not overburden your kids and how to deal with guilt. And also there's a book out there called Supercharged Superhero by Gemma Everson. And it is a book that she wrote to help her child understand her husband's, the child's father's, chronic fatigue syndrome. And it's about a superhero dad with all this energy, and then something happens, and his battery runs flat, and he's just not able to recharge it anymore. So if you have small children, reading this book with them could be a way to normalize this and help them understand what's happening. And if you know of any resources, or if you have any tips on how to make parenting more manageable while facing health conditions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm sure people would very much appreciate hearing them. And if you enjoyed this, please tap that like button. And I'm sending so much love to all of you parents out there. You are all superheroes in my book. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.